if I had someone told me 2 years when I started this podcast that I'd be talking to you in an interview, I've been like, you're crazy because
Man.
just because understand this, I have been a fan of yours when I was active. You was one of the ones that I wanted to work with. You're a legend in this business, a
Oh, thank you.
pioneer, trendsetter, all this. So I know you done heard all this before. I mean, come on.
Oh man. I put my drawers on just like everybody else.
I'm like, she's so famous. Her husband is famous, ladies and gentlemen. That's how famous of a woman that she is. So, oh my God. So everybody, before we even go into the name of particulars, how many years you been doing this?
Well, the film side of it, over a decade, and then the adult stuff all together, wrapped up all together, all the different stuff I did in the adult industry would be about 3 decades. Yeah.
So you are far from yeah. She is legendary status. And so what was the first thing you did in the adult field? What was the first thing you did?
The first thing I did was I was a dancer.
Mm-hmm.
Background. Let me just go back a little bit.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Way back. 16. Graduated at 16 and went into
Damn.
college and passed by a local strip club and some girl, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that. So shit, I'd do that. So. And this was back before they really checked. I mean, they checked your ID, obviously, but
Yeah.
back then
They didn't care as much.
yeah, we're talking. I'm 51, so we're saying way back then they didn't really. You didn't have that like state seal crap they have on it
Yeah.
now, and I used to get into a bar. I got into this bar for 6 years before they actually cracked down on it. Like 6 months before my 21st birthday, they cracked down on stuff. But anyway, so I went in there and young and I've always had boobs.
Mhm.
But I went in there and I, shook my ass and made some money, and then I started. I branched off into burlesque stuff and did the whole circuit on the southeast and stuff like that, and that's how it all started. Then
Oh snap.
getting into phone sex and different stuff like that, and took a
And see
small
what?
pause for family and stuff, and then
Mhm. Yeah, because people don't realize, yeah, because back then it was different.
oh yeah, a lot different.
Way different than it is now.
Oh yeah,
Because even to the point, like, even with the strippers, like just like you said, it's kind of like they they didn't care as much as they do now, or even years up onto it. You know what I'm saying? As long as you look the age, okay,
yeah.
whatever.
And it was so easy to fake an ID back then too. I mean,
Hell yeah, I used to fake college IDs, my ID.
not to imply, but no, I mean, yeah, it was easy to fake an ID back in the day, and I had a, I mean, I want to say I had a good head on my shoulders. I mean, don't get me wrong, I did some shit, but I mean, and I'm so glad we didn't have cell phones. We didn't even
Yeah.
have cell phones back then. Let's
Hell
go all the
no.
way back.
This,
There
this,
wasn't
this
even
was
cell
before
phones.
pagers. This was before pagers.
We had beepers, and
Yeah.
and uh, and if you had a beeper, you were the shit, or a drug dealer, one of the two. So a doctor, drug dealer, or the shit, one of the two.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, so we didn't have any of those, I mean, I remember being a stripper and I got the bag phone. Remember the bags?
Yeah.
I had that. I thought I was the shit. I mean, it's back then. You're young and dumb and think you know everything. But I think I was a pretty good hustler back then. I've always had a strong work ethic. I think
Which
it
is
has like,
obvious because you graduated at 16, which means
yeah.
that one, you was brilliant. You were very highly smart and intelligent. Period. So that tells me a lot because not a lot of people can graduate at 16.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Yeah, I did that, and I went to while I stripped. I think the whole time I was stripping, I went to college for like 15 years. I graduated with like a dual master's in English and history and a bachelor's in business, and I just did a whole bunch of other shit in between. Like I just did crazy shit. I mean, I loved going to school. I was very much I tell people I was a nerd with boobs. So so but but I guess I was the wild child. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
but I mean, my parents really couldn't say too much to me because I graduated at 16. I was
16, yeah. It was like,
there was really not much they could say. You know, like you bet. Well,
damn, you always made good grades. Shit.
shit. Okay, I got nothing. So yeah, I was actually moved out in my own place before I was even 18. So yeah,
So you were grown before you was grown.
I was grown. Yeah, I was grown. Which made it really hard. We know when I started having a family, and our kids are all adults now,
Yeah.
so they went through those little, you know, I'm grown. No, you ain't grown. Let me tell you,
Grown.
grown. So
I show you grown.
so yeah, but yeah, it's it's been a crazy world. My life has been. I mean, I'm pretty fortunate. I mean, there's been some good times, some bad times, some good memories, some bad memories, and all in between. So
Oh, most definitely. So give me 1 second. Hello, smokers. How y'all doing? And this is a very special episode of the Smokers Lounge here on Anchor. Perfect app for you to start your podcast career. You know what to do. Go to anchor.fm, get a profile, download the app. I'm your host, Kavanaugh, the Southern Champ, aka the Porn Rap Star. Y'all know what to do. Find all my links with one link, allmylinks.com/Porn Rap Star. Damn it, all my links, you should give me a sponsorship. Now, speaking about sponsors, we got 4 wonderful sponsors to tell you about. The first one being the Facebook, the LS community. I'm talking about lsworld.com. Also, check out the hottest adult mag in the game on the web, eroticismmagazine.com. Also, for you content creators just looking for a place to put your content, 90% profit, no hashtag issues. And for you consumers, a new place for you to look at Triple X content, I got you covered. excitemoney.com. And last but not least, we're talking about smut with voiceover. Award-winning, award-nominated. We're talking about Blush Erotica. So go to blusherotica.com and get yourself a monthly subscription. And also check out their VR side known as Beaver. That's right, you can look at your Oculus and maybe see some of the hottest adult film talent fuck the shit out of each other while you listen to some wonderful erotic poetry at the same time. Also, proud member of the GW District Black Podcasting Network. So go over to shopgwdistrict.com and buy products from over 500 black-owned stores, retailers, and boutiques. Also, 5 days a week, go to fullyswapradio.com and listen to me in the morning and wake and bake with me and my peoples in the morning. 5 days a week at fullyswapradio.com. Also, check me out on skyhawkafterdarktv.com as well as the BGBLLC app. Now, we got that all the way. I'm going to sit back. I'm going to let this gorgeous, blonde, legendary, busty, she is, understand this, between her and Sarah J, this is one of the biggest interviews I've ever done in my career. Introduce herself.
Well, I don't know what else to say. You've done that enough. We're done. Good night. No. I mean, I'm just saying to be right next to Sarah J is awesome because she's amazing. I love her. Yeah. So, for those of you who don't know, my name is Kimmie Kaboom. I've been in the adult entertainment industry over 3 decades. Film side of that about a decade. Yeah, I've been there, done that. I've done quite a bit, so I don't really know what else to say.
She was doing phone sex when it was a 1-800 number, ladies and gentlemen. Is that real?
Yeah. And you had to give that credit card. No, actually when it was a 1-900, yeah, 1-900.
Yeah.
Because it was on your phone bill and tell all your business.
Yeah, because I was watching the documentary for what's her damn name, the psychic lady. Damn, and it made me think about the phone sex. I was like, it used to be a time where you had to use your house phone for phone sex.
Yeah.
Not a computer.
And for all you young folks out there, that was the thing that was attached to the wall with a long ass cord on it. Yeah.
So how did you get into that? How did you get to the phone sex side?
Honestly, I've never been asked this before, but I'm trying to remember. I don't really. I mean, I know when I was in the club, we had a payphone.
Mm-hmm.
And again, for you youngins, that's a thing that actually used to mount on the wall or outside. No, seriously though. But no, I remember doing like phone sex
Mm-hmm.
in the dressing room of the club I used to strip at in between sets. So I had like a hustle on top of a hustle on top of a hustle. I was
She was
always
at work at work. She was
I
doing
was
work at
always
work.
trying to get, and I remember because I would go to college to like mid morning 5 days a week.
Mm-hmm.
And then I made like noon roll call because you had to be dressed and on the floor by noon because they would play the little song and everybody had to do roll call. So we all had to make the roll call. I had a couple of fellas that would come in and see me on a regular basis. So I would sit with them the first couple hours of the day, do my sets, make my money. And then when they left, I'd go back to the dressing room, do my little phone calls here and there.
Mm-hmm.
And I would do homework. Just shit.
There's a woman that knew how to do the balancing that, because that's balancing for your ass. Because that's something we always discuss, like balancing your personal with your career a lot.
Yeah.
Having the time to do both in the time of day or what have you. You sitting there stripping, phone sex, and homework. See, this is the reason why she's a legend, ladies and gentlemen. She's the
I
ultimate.
don't know. I think a lot of it had the reason why I think I worked so hard, and I still work very hard. And I think the reason why is, we did not grow up with a lot of shit. Like, we didn't have nothing. I mean, I grew up in downtown Birmingham. My mom was in the projects. I mean, that's where I grew up, the high school I went to is no longer a high school. It's like no longer a high school. So, I mean, we were, shit, my mom lived in low income housing that they gave her a check to stay there. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was we were poor. I've stood in food stamp lines when they used to give out paper food stamps. I have stood in the block cheese, the peanut butter, and all that. I've done that, and I think that's why I have such a strong work ethic, because I don't ever. I mean, no disrespect to any of that, because I've been there, I've done that, but I didn't want to ever be in that situation. And I don't think my mom was 13 when she had me, so she didn't have a lot of knowledge at that age, and she really did not have a lot of the I guess the smarts, or wasn't raised, because she was raised in North Alabama. It was kind of country, and
she had you at 13, so
yeah,
it's kind of like
country, and is country.
I know about Birmingham. I've been down there a couple of times.
So me living in Birmingham, like I went there, done that, and I went through some stuff with all that. We were kind of thrown around house to house stuff sometimes. Shit was real. So I think that's what made me kind of grow up fast. And that's what made me, back then we took care of ourselves. Like, shit, you got out of school, you went home, you did your homework, you just took care of yourself. That's just what you did at our age. What they call them, latchkey kids. That's what we were. Hell, we were fixing dinner. We were.
That's what I'm saying.
So that's what we did. So, and I think that maybe why it has a lot to do with why I work the way I work, because I just don't ever want to be in that situation again.
Yeah, so, I remember when I turned 18, my mama said, "I am not cooking for you ever again, boy. You better learn how to cook." And I learned how to cook quick too, god dang it. First thing I made was pancakes. I knew how to make them. My sister got mad at me too. She was like, "How's your shit go to brown and my shit burnt?" I said, "Because you can't cook. You burnt grits, woman. Stop."
Yeah, I mean, we been there, done that, so yeah. So I think that maybe that's why. We, I worked as hard as I do. And I don't regret any of that. I love the fact that that's how I grew up. And of course, when I was growing up, I didn't know there was any difference to that, I just knew I didn't want to be broke.
Yeah. Tell me about it. Yeah. Tell me about it. What's your zodiac sign?
Huh?
What's your zodiac?
I'm a Taurus.
April 21st.
Huh?
See, April 21st, I'm a Taurus.
Oh, I'm 22nd. Funny story about that. Funny story about that. I was, talking about country, and my mom was, she was born in North Alabama in the country, and she was pregnant with me, and we had a doctor when she had me, like had his house was his doctor's office.
Mm-hmm.
So she was in labor with me for a few days. And she actually gave birth to me on April 21st.
Ooh.
But they
Yeah.
were all so tired, they all
Yeah.
went to sleep. The next
Mm-hmm.
day, he filled out the birth certificate. And when he did, he put the 22nd, not
Exactly.
realizing that. So, fun fact, I was actually born on the 21st, but the birth certificate
Mm-hmm.
has 22nd.
Yeah, because I hate to tell you this, fellow Taurus, I feel sick when I'm broke. And I am miserable. I'm depressed. It's just, oh God, I can't.
You know, it's so funny that even when I'm not, like, it's saying, like, obviously things we're in a much better place now, but I
Yeah.
mean, but even now where I'm in a more financially secure time, I
Mm-hmm.
always think about that. Like, I'm
Yeah.
always thinking about stuff. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, so
Yeah.
I'm
'Cause I ain't
always,
gonna, I'll tell people quick. My two biggest fears is to be homeless. That's one of my biggest fears, goddamn. I fear that more than goddamn being burnt alive. No, I can't. No, it's not a good feeling.
I
Being
mean, it's
broke.
not even like I have to, I don't, it's not, I just don't want to be broke. Like, I don't have to
Yeah.
be rich. I just don't
Yeah.
want to be broke.
Yeah,
So,
that's what I'm saying. I want
saying,
to be
like,
able to reach in and get a pack of cigarettes when I want it out of
people
at least.
talk about, I want to win the lottery. I want to, I'll share. Shit, I want to win it too. Hell, I'll share.
Yeah.
Let's get a group of us together. Let's all win. So I mean, so yeah, that's kind of, yeah, just
Yes,
don't be broke.
because to you, from following your career and just talking to you now, you kill every misconception people have about this business. But we'll get to that in a second because we need to go back into the time machine. Because see, with my business, because this podcast is about the business of porn. So this is where we're going to go right here.
Okay.
What got you into porn itself? Because we know that you did, the phone sex, you did the stripping, you did the burlesque, which took you traveling. What got you into the film side of it?
The film side of it, I was doing pinup, rockabilly pinup. My husband was the photographer. I was a part of a local group that did all the little, victory
Mm-hmm.
rolls and all that old school kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I would take some pictures for my husband on the risque side. So I took them for him, and then he had a group of fellas that were always talking about their wives. Oh, my wife's hot. My wife's hot. My wife. And so my husband was like, "Well, shit, I'm gonna get my girl in a magazine." So he
Mm-hmm.
sent some of those topless pictures into a magazine, trying to get me like in the amateur section.
Yeah.
And they emailed him back one day and they were like, "Hey, we'd really like her to do film." And he's
And
like,
what was it Score Mag?
"Yeah." And he
See,
was like,
I'm gonna
"Yeah."
tell
He
you
was
what's
like,
funny before you finish that story. I had so many magazines to Score with your ass in it, but I digress. Go ahead.
"Okay." But no, but he was like trying to get me in the magazine, and they were like, "Oh, well, will she shoot porn or film?" And so he's like, "Hell yeah." And he was like, "Oh, fuck," because he had never told me he did this.
Mm-hmm.
Which, I've had some people, "Oh, he shouldn't have did that." I mean, really, it was just titties. Okay. I mean, it was a picture
Yeah,
of titties. Okay. I'm not, remember, I'm older, so I don't get
yeah.
offended very easily. So, but yeah, so, I tried to find something wrong with that company. I Googled, I looked, but I mean, I looked, cause you can't be too careful. Cause
Yeah,
before this, I had really not heard of, like, I knew of them, but not heard of them. You know what I'm saying? Like, so
yeah.
you have to do that. And even to this day, anybody I work with, I do research. I want to know who they are.
Mm-hmm.
Before I work with them, I want to make sure that they ain't talking shit on social media about somebody, or because if they're a shit starter, or they, you know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to get caught up in the drama. So that's basically what I was doing, just making sure that these people were on the up and all that kind of stuff. And I knew that obviously everybody's got a flavor, everybody's got a size and shape they like. I just didn't realize that it was as lucrative as it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I'm just kind of like in kind of disbelief, like, ain't nobody trying to see this naked. And they're like, "Yeah, but we are." And I'm like, "Okay." So anyway, so we kind of hawed around a little bit about it, and then the offer was pretty good, and I'm thinking, I could do some work to the house, I could, do some stuff to the house, do the roof and just do like that. So plus I'm thinking, what a hell of a story. Like this would be a cool ass fucking story when I'm old and gray and in the nursing home. You know what I'm saying? Can't you just see me around a whole bunch of chicks in the nursing home going, and let me tell you what I did next, girls. Grab your oxygen mask. I shot some porn. I'm just saying. So anyway, I went down there. It worked out. I mean, it went down there, and my mind was blown how they filmed it. How it all comes about was like, what the fuck? Okay, so there's a whole bunch of that going on. But no, it was cool. I mean, it all worked out, and it worked out better than I thought it would. I locked down some domains and my name and all that kind of stuff, and just roll with it. And now here we are 10 years later, still doing it. So
yeah, because when you did that first thing, because I want to unpack that first shoot so my listeners can see the difference between now and where we came from, and how it's way different than y'all see it now. Period. One, there was no such thing as content yet. Period, from the time when you started. So we'll get to that in a second. So of course you were nervous or what have you. What testing was back then?
No, actually, I still had when I started like the film part of it, I was still under the talent testing umbrella. Okay. So I still had that testing. But I am very familiar with what you're talking about because back then, back older than that, because I'm good friends with a lot of legends in the industry that really pioneered it for us, Christy Canyon and Ginger Lynn and stuff like that. Yeah. And you didn't really have a lot of testing. I mean, or you'd go down to the little AIDS test and stuff like that. And that's what they would. I mean, that's just one of the things they did, or just some of the stories they've told me is like, you just go down there and got you a little AIDS test or whatever. That was it. But to say to follow up with that is that back then it was so much harder to shoot. I mean, you had to it was like a cloak and dagger operation. Like you couldn't let people know you were doing that. You would go to jail. It
was more shame when it came to the porn industry back then because it was very taboo. It was taboo. Yeah, kids, we used to walk into the North American videos, or the one we call it, with the room with the black shade in the back. You got to open it. That's where all your porn shit was.
Yeah. Really. I mean, and it's crazy because as provocative as everything is now, like you go back to when, back when we were growing up, you had 3 channels?
Yeah.
Maybe 4.
TV went off.
You know what I'm saying? And you had like the national anthem and your TV was off by 10:30 after 10 o'clock news. So, we didn't have a lot of craziness, but also too, like when HBO started going and stuff like that, you had like your Lady Chatterley, that was the ooh shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was the, oh my gosh.
And I'm sorry, that's the reason why I have such a hang up about heels and thigh-high stockings. That movie, because that's all she wore. By the time she got naked, that's all she had on: thigh-high stockings and the heels. Yeah,
and it was such a provocative thing. But even as accepting as stuff is now, it's still not accepted. Like it really still isn't. It's like it amazes me because there's so much that goes on now, but yet there's still so much stigma.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, why? How? I don't get it. I just don't get why there's still so much stigma.
Because my theory is because people still ashamed of what they like sexually, kink-wise, and the whole nine.
Yeah, I mean,
you know what I'm saying? Period. And it's just, as the generation grow old, that shame is going to disappear because one of the reasons why porn is becoming somewhat normalized because more access now. I can look at it on my phone, my laptop, my period. OnlyFans became the shit. Period. You and me, it used to be just 3 really sites that you can actually make money online with.
Yeah.
That was Southern Charms, Clips for Sale, and Rude.com.
Right.
You know,
And I actually just joined Southern Charms. And the reason why I joined Southern Charms is I wanted to get back into the pictures.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm not doing any videos for Southern Charm or anything like that. I'm just strictly doing pictures. But I kind of wanted to get back into that because, I mean, not that there's anything wrong with film, because obviously I have my platforms that I do that with, but I do like very much to, pin up stuff was my roots. So it's kind of like, something I really liked doing. So I actually just joined that platform a few months ago, and I've had fun with it. It's a lot of fun. So,
yeah,
but there wasn't a lot of ways to get it. I mean, like you said, everything now is a click of a button. It's so easy to get it now. I mean, if anything I could change in my life, it would be to go back and invent the internet. I'm just saying.
because let's keep it 100. We made more money back then.
You know what?
We made more money back then.
In a sense, you did make more money because back then there was production. There was, you had people going on locations and you had contracts. You had contract girls and stuff like that. Yes, you did. And like AVNs, it was like Hollywood. It was like, red carpet with Hollywood and cameras. And it was the shit. And everybody wanted to talk about it. And I'm not saying we don't have that now, but it's not nearly as like prestigious, I guess, as it was in a sense. But I do know that I make my own content. So I am a content creator as well. And I have nothing against newer content creators that are coming out or came out during COVID, because it's amazing to me how many people became porn stars during COVID. And if you detect sarcasm, it's because I am being sarcastic. But it is not that I have a problem with it. It's just that I hope and pray that they are still keeping themselves up to the same standards I have to keep myself up to.
Hold on. People, she just said and summarized what I've been saying about content creators versus fucking porn stars. Why do porn stars have an issue with the content creators? It's the professionalism of it.
Wait, now you didn't hear me. I have no problem with content creators because I am also a content creator. I just want all content creators, including myself, to maintain the same integrity with testing and what have you as I have to.
Yeah.
That being said, I do know firsthand of content creators who are newer, who feel that they don't have to do the testing that I have to do. And I beg to differ.
It's an old saying. If you want to play with the big dogs, you have to play with the big dogs' rules. Facts. Especially
not my rules either. They're not even my rules. But
no, it's the industry rules. It's
industry standard is what it is.
Yeah.
It's industry standard. Yeah. And you have to bring the whole industry standard to your production. From day one, me creating my own website, my own OnlyFans, my own all this, from day one, I have implemented my testing with every performer that I have worked with when I've worked with them. And they have done the same to me, because that is just what you have to do in this industry. And I'm not saying that, and I'm sure people got something to say. And I mean, you can say whatever you want to say, but I don't care if you're a content creator. There is enough money for everybody. Come get you some.
Thank you.
Handle it. Just make sure that you're doing everything you're supposed to do. That means you cannot bully and bogart performers into working with you.
Yeah.
You cannot.
Because see, with me, this is what I've been saying, because I'm retired or what have you. It's like I tell people, my issue with content creators is that, well, one, to keep it 100, because it became easier, they think it's easy to do. That's one.
Fuck no.
You feel me?
That's the biggest. That's the biggest issue we have.
Yeah.
I do seminars at Exotica. I go to all the Exoticas every year. I do 2 seminars, 2 to 3, depending on. I mean, I'll do 2 days or 3 days worth of seminars, because I try to explain to everybody. What's the old saying? I quit my 40-hour week job to work 120 hours for my business because it's hard work. I mean, you are literally working 7 days a week. You are always on. I heard all the stuff you rattled off all you do. So I know you do what I do.
Yeah.
Up early in the morning, working all damn day doing stuff. If you're not doing stuff, then you're editing stuff. If you're uploading stuff, you're doing this. You're looking at your analytics. You're trying to book up your next stuff. You're trying to plan your next move. It's a lot of work. I mean, this is not, don't get me wrong, it's fun work. It's really fun work. But it's also, it's still work. You know, it's and I think a lot of people get under that delusion or illusion that, oh my God, I'm just gonna do. I'm gonna do that. Okay, do it. Just remember, you got to do all of it. You can't do a piece of it. You got to do all of it, all of it. And I know a lot of people who've been in the industry for many years who still don't do it all. Who do some of it, you know? Yeah. And they're exhausted. So you know, it's a full time. It's definitely a full time gig. So, but it's cool shit. I have a lot of fun doing it.
Yeah, because even with podcasts, it feel like I'm still employed by how I have to move. Because editing these videos.
Only thing different is you're keeping your clothes on.
Basically. well, except in the previous smoke room, sometimes they do flash the camera or be topless, but you gotta subscribe to see that, people. But anyway, back to the show. But no, I just think, like I said, it's also the professionalism, because you spoke to that. Because I remember when I came in the game. So people can understand this. One, dudes had to send their pictures to the ladies. And these are the pictures that they asked for, 9 times out of 10. Face, full body, erect dick. For females, standing with your hands side by side, relaxed, front, side, back, turn. You know, period. Why did they ask for these pictures? To see what walking in the door, to see you naked, to see your body. Because at some point you might get naked or what have you. Because, they were that judgmental on it. You know, period. It was harder to get in. Even for me, I couldn't get into Hollywood because I had to be groomed into Hollywood. Plus, I had to take my ass over there. And trust me, I didn't want to shoot the way that they shot because I actually seen the behind the scenes of one. I said, I can't do it. Yeah, that's just too much. It's too much to stop and go, and it's a straight up. Not, I mean, like a production director, and you got the makeup artist over there, catering over there. You know what I'm saying? The director and the cameraman with the boom light. And you might have other performers waiting on your dumb ass to get finished because he got 2 more scenes to shoot that day.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you're right. It is, and you know, and it is. I've done multiple scenes in a day, and I've I've been there before when I've had to work with a talent that, as I say, dilly-dicked around, and I'm like, look, I still got 2 more scenes to shoot. Let's make this shit happen. I mean, you know, like, I'm literally been there, like, and by the time scenes are wrapped, it was like midnight. You know, like, I mean, I literally been there since like 8 that morning to midnight. So, and thank God the last person I worked with is just somebody I've worked with before. So I love when I work with somebody I've worked with before and that we meshed well together because we know each other. Like, we know each other and we knock that shit out real quick, you know. So, but even when it's quick, it's still not quick because, you know, makeup and hair, and then, you know, pretty girls and makeup, hair, then the scene stills, then makeup, hair, and, you know, film.
Yeah, because you still do a shoot like the old school professional shoot's supposed to be done. You give me the pretty girl pics. You give me the stills, the picture stills, not the still pulled from the video. No, the actual picture stills. You feel me? You know, period. You know, it's people don't realize it was a process. It just wasn't we got there and then we just go fuck.
Right.
No, it's a whole process. Not take away the paperwork and all that shit, because also another case is sometimes in your situation you didn't know the male talent ahead of time. So now you got a quick amount of time to develop chemistry with this motherfucker, so y'all can have a banging ass scene.
Well, I know, you know, and I guess that's one good thing about it is with me, there was a couple cases where I didn't know my talent ahead of time.
Yeah.
But, you know, if you come into the game and prepare yourself like a business, you can take control of those situations. Like for me, I pretty much, I have a pick. You know, I can kind of go, okay, well, who you got? What you got? What you got? What you got? You
I
know.
mean, you kind of earned it, don't you think? I mean,
Well, I kind
you
of hope
kind
so.
of earned it.
But
I mean,
even from the beginning though, even with the beginning, I kind of had a little bit of input in it because, you know, obviously, and I do have a no list because I can, and I think that's where a lot of the youngins coming in, I don't think they realize how much power they got. You know what I'm saying? Because you do have power, and back to what you were saying about the whole pictures of, you know, your whole little, the whole, you know, the whole this all that shit. You know, doing all that, all because you're not picked that time, doesn't mean they don't want you. They just don't want you right now. So you have to do your due diligence and like browbeat them into like, hey, I'm still here, and yeah, you know. So but you have to browbeat them because you might not be that flavor that month. But you know, it's up and downs, like just like the fucking, it's up and downs. I mean, what might be hot and popping right now might not be hot and popping in 2 weeks or 3 weeks or a month, you know, and you might be that look, you know. So
yeah, that I tell females straight up, once you drop that first scene on Twitter, you're being looked at. Period. You're being looked at. They just want to see how you progress. You know, period.
And one other thing too, I think, which is a real big, I think, newbie mistake, and I have made them, so I don't want nobody to think I done walked up in this motherfucker and knew all the answers, because I didn't, and I fucked up a lot. But I try to learn from it, and that's why I do seminars, to try to prevent those same mistakes being made.
Yeah.
But the one thing I see on social media a lot is stop giving it all away on Twitter when you could be getting paid for it. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'll put some titties out there every now and then, but you hardly ever gonna see my vajayjay unless it's a special day. You know, and it's got to be a really special day.
You know, that was an argument on it. It was an argument that I saw on a Twitter feed about that. It's less and more. And from talking to like Robin Lynn, shouts out to her, and stuff like that. It's I kind of think like back in the day, because there used to be a time back in the day where you could have a membership site up for pictures, and you was making money like you would now with the videos. Right. You know, period. But to me, I think this is how I look at it. I tell anybody how you package it. That's the reason why if you're gonna go the route of you ain't showing shit, it's because the pictures that you're putting out is so quality, they forget about the fact you ain't showing shit. I be telling people that. Because,
well, you know, it's no different than being a burlesque dancer. When I did the burlesque, I took it all off, but I didn't. You know what I'm saying? It's the art of the tease. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It really is. And the clientele you want is that clientele that's down for that tease. You know what I'm saying? That likes to go through the whole journey with you. And I'm not saying don't never put nothing on social media. I'm just saying, don't give everything away. You know, if you're gonna give it all,
they be sitting there with a dildo in their pussy, they be squirting.
I mean, you're giving it every bit of it away. You know, so I just think you don't want to give it all away.
But I'm asking you this: does that technique work in this day and age? Because this day and age is a microwave era. So everybody want to do shit for viral purposes, versus I am selling purposes. You get where I'm coming from, or anticipation.
This is my thought on it. I don't give a fuck how many followers I have on Twitter, because I could have 100,000 followers or 1,000,000 followers, but if ain't nobody spending no money on me, what's the point?
That part.
You know what I'm saying? Like I think I just barely broke 50K. I'm okay with that because I know the people I have are the quality people that are going to go to KimmieKaboom.com. They're going to go to my onlykimmie.com. They're going to go to my, loyaltokimmie.com. They're going to go to all my sites and buy my stuff, because that's the people. And I have some that probably won't. They maybe be bullshitting and just want to see my cleavage or my titties whenever I throw a free pic out there. But that's okay too. I'm okay with people window shopping. You know, you can window shop too, but occasionally they're going to want to hit on something. And again, I don't have all the answers. Who knows? You want to throw your shit out there for everybody to see, and you make a shit ton of money doing it. What do I know? I mean, I just know what's worked for me, in my opinion.
Yeah. No, it's. I mean, understand. To me, it's like this. I always felt there was a blueprint to business when it comes to on content end, and even when it comes to the business side. Now, the business side of it is simply this: consistency, and patience. Because people really think that this is a quick, rich scheme, short term, quick money. Not realizing that, the old adage, it's a marathon, not a sprint. Period. Because one, you haven't been doing this 20 years and been successful at it by accident.
Well,
you know where I'm coming from.
Yeah, and it's every bit of it it's like you said, it's a hustle. Yeah. It's a trial and error. It's a, like, don't get me wrong. You can, I have, my husband, he does my post-production. He does my teasers for my videos. Mm-hmm. I'll throw a fucking teaser up in a heartbeat. You might see my shit for a second or two, but I'm trying to tease you. That is what the teaser's for. Mm-hmm. So, I don't know. I think that, I don't know. That's just my thought on it.
Also, it's like, I tell females can train fan bases without even realizing. For example, all right, for years they seen you, they score, they seen you at high professional level, even to when you shoot your own shit. So people don't realize on a psychology level, if I tell you that I'm big, you're going to perceive me as such. So when I see Kimmie Kaboom and I see every picture is professionally shot, her videos Hollywoodish. Now, understand, you can take a bullshit camera, but if you got the right light and you know what the fuck you're doing, you got a good cameraman, you can make it Hollywoodish. But the point being is, what I'm saying is to a certain level. So once you came in a certain level, you made sure that they saw you at that level. And that's a lot of mistakes that girls do make when it comes to this business.
It's so funny to talk about camera. Yeah. It's something that I mention to people all the time. When we first started our little endeavor, when I was doing the whole pinup stuff, we had like a $89 Walmart camera that we used, and the lights were, so, but they were like some cheap lights we got off Amazon or some kind of shit like that. And people would go to Daryl all the time and go like, "Man, that's a really nice photo there. Like, that's just some real professional shit there." He's like,
"Yeah."
He's like, "Thank you." Yeah. Look, you don't tell what kind of camera he was using, but I mean, obviously we've evolved since then. We have really nice cameras. We shoot 4K. We stepped it up a notch, and all that stuff. But you're right, the lighting does make a hella difference. I try to, one good thing I guess came out of COVID is that people got really fucking creative. You had to get creative. I was very fortunate because we went to AVN, and whenever we go to AVN, we try to go 2 or 3 weeks, and we try to shoot as much content when we're there as we can. Mm-hmm. So luckily for both of us, we actually shot a shit ton of content in 2020. Mm-hmm. So we're AVN January, AVN, shot all the content, and then of course everything goes to shit in March. Everything gets shut down, and it was good because I had enough content to make it last, mm-hmm. And of course, we had to hit a lot of, little cheap motels and to film other content, but you get really creative, you have to be creative. And I think maybe because I did some cam, I think that kind of helped too, because you just have to learn to change up your room a lot. So, but yeah, it's you really have to constantly think and constantly see what's happening and what's popping and what type of content selling. It's always that kind of thing. Obviously I do a lot of the whole taboo thing right now. Now that obviously now as I get older, they're all into the whole stepmom thing, and so just saying, they're into that thing. That's their thing. That's what they're into. I tell people in the seminars I do. when I was doing camp, there are people into burping and shit. Like, I didn't even fucking know some of these fetishes existed, you know?
Yeah.
But I made damn boss ass money off burping. And I'm like, whatever. You know, like,
Yeah.
whatever, you know? So, I mean, it's good. I mean, you know, good money. And then I have videos where I'm not even fucking. I'm not doing anything sexual. I'm like, you know, I shot a scene with a girl. We were in a corner penthouse in the Bellagio. And a good friend of ours had the Bellagio penthouse suite. And I'm like, I found out about it. I'm like, dude, you got a penthouse and you ain't told me? Because I will shoot that room like a dirty whore. I will like shoot everywhere in there. And so me and this girl went in there. They had the toilet and the bidet. And we're like playing on it. We're playing on a fucking bidet and a toilet. And that to this day still sells. To this day. And we're just naked playing on the fucking toilet and a bidet. So, I mean, can't nobody say ain't nothing gonna make money, because anything will make money.
That's the thing that I say to women. You have to expand your repertoire, whether within content, within from content to even to the business side of things, because you are a brand, you know. Period. It's kind of like, even when I look at when girls talk about OnlyFans and all that shit, or ManyVids or any of these sites, they don't even use all the things that can make them money within that's actually available on their site for the use.
Right.
You know. Period. You know.
Well, yeah, and that's the other thing you said. You do have to try to think outside that box, and you have to step out of your comfort zone sometimes. And that's not in regards to consent or anything. I'm talking about, like, if I wasn't into the burping thing, and I said, oh, I'm just not gonna do that. Sometimes you gotta try it. You know, try something different. See if that works for you. See if it's something you might be into. I didn't think I would ever be comfortable with some of the stuff I do. I'm trying to think of something. Like, I had a guy who was all into my armpits. I was like, man, that's some fucking but I did it, you know. The mom thing, I wasn't sure if I was going to be how it was going to go, you know. But you know, I think as you get older, you just, well, first of all, as you get older, your fucks that you give really go out the window. Like, you don't actually, like, you really don't. But I do. I mean, you know, there's a lot of things. You know, you have to kind of step out and try things and see how you feel with it. You know what I'm saying? I know I am not a submissive person. I'm a very dominant person. So obviously I do a lot of the dominant type things. I have no problem talking to someone like they're shit. And I have no problem talking about the little dick. So that's just something I can do like that. But, you know, I also like to be that, oh yeah, daddy, you know, that kind of thing. Or you know, talking about, don't you want to fuck your stepmom or something? You know, I don't know.
I mean, because to be honest with you, there's so much stuff in the business that women can use. Men, we ain't really got much. Be honest with you, we just really don't. Shit, we got to walk in the game with a girl. To be honest with you, because ain't nobody really trying to see us jerk her off. Not like that, anyway. But like I said, with y'all have webcam, y'all have custom videos. They still do, you know, the night flirts with the phone sex. Some girls do meet and greets. And then that's what I mean. It's like you have to, especially
pussy is a powerful thing.
Yes, Lord. Yes.
You know, years ago I was told that what you got between your leg drips gold. Just make sure you know that. Make sure you remember that, you know. So, and it's silly that it, you know, that was said to me, but yeah, it's very true. It's very much true. You have to monetize it and make your money. And I'm under no illusion that I'll be able to do this forever, but damn it, I'm gonna try. Yeah. So.
I mean, because I ain't gonna front. I've been saying this. To me, the older women, the women 35 plus, to me have greater success and long-termness than females that are walking in now in their 20s.
Well,
but, you know what I'm saying?
You know, and I agree. And honestly, and I'm going to probably catch flack for it, but I'm okay with that. I feel And let me tell you why. I feel that I'm not comfortable with someone that of that age getting into the industry or any adult platform for that matter. And this is why. And the reason why I say that, because at 20, you don't know what the fuck you want to do with your life. Okay? And because society brands it the scarlet letter if you're in it. You know what I'm saying? Society makes it such a bad thing. Mm-hmm. And that's why I say that. It's not that I'm saying that they should sit their ass down. They should. No. I'm just saying because there are people in their 30s that don't fucking know what they want to do with their life yet.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, I've been there and I've done that. But if I would have done it, and I'm lucky that, because I didn't have the internet back in the day when I was sleeping on a pole and shit. And I didn't have those things. And it's not, we didn't have social media and all that. So I was a little incognito back in the day. I could be a little incognito.
Yeah, actually you can get away with doing porn without any family member finding the fuck out back then.
Right, back in the day. So, it was such a stigma now that, you don't know if you want to be in politics, or you don't know if you want to be in this or be this or be that, or be a PTO president or something, or because it's going. I tell people all the time, if you have kids, your kid, they will find out.
Yeah.
Your next door neighbor will find out, and let me tell you why they're gonna find out. Because they're just as perverted as you are, and just as freaky as you are, but they're just not gonna admit it. And then they're going to talk about it, and they're going to talk about it in front of their kids. Those kids going to go back to school and talk to your kids about it. Mm-hmm. So it's going to be out. So just err on the side of caution. That's all. And unfortunately, when you're young, you also get that naiveness. Yeah. And you get used up, tricked out, spit out, and they're done with you in 6 months.
Yeah.
There's a reason why I only did certain things during certain parts, and I do this, and I waited this long to do this, and waited this long to do this, and I try to stretch it out as much as I can, or make it longevity wise for my career. I didn't want to be chewed up for 6 months and spit out. So
the term actually back in the day was called overshot.
Yeah, and so that's one of the reasons why I try to minimize how much, and I love shooting with companies, don't get it twisted, but I make good money on my OnlyFans and my website.
Yeah, because I was always told never let the industry have more content of you than you don't have of yourself. I was told that early.
So I mean, and I love every company I've worked with. I've not I don't think I've had a bad experience with a company.
So I'm trying to think ways that so you work with Rodney too, right?
Yeah.
Rodney Moore,
Jeff Models, Plumper Pass, obviously Score and the Excel Girls stuff, Shape of Beauty, with Adult Time, Shape of Beauty.
They just say she done them all, ladies and gentlemen.
Been there, done that.
She been there, done that twice over. She done forgot more than y'all motherfuckers know. That's real.
Well, back in my let's see, I have to be careful because I don't know what platform you put this on. Let's just.
Oh no, it's uncensored. It's uncensored.
Okay. So back in the day, cocaine was very prevalent in the clubs. Like we literally, when I say it was in the clubs, like it was on the table in the clubs, and you just. So that was always our party. So it's just socially what you did. Like it was no different than popping a pill. I just wasn't a pill person, or taking a hit of acid.
It's today's weed. It was today's weed. The way they
exactly, and it wasn't something that, and it was not all this crap that they got going on now, but yeah, it was very prevalent back in the day. And I remember, woo. I mean, I think back at some of the shit I used to do back in the day. I'm like, woo, I should be sitting in a federal penitentiary right now, waiting on visitor day. I mean, it's like.
I mean, but it's kind of like I said, especially the time when you came in. the porn community was very close knit and extremely small because you just couldn't walk in. You had to be brought in, recruited in, but you just couldn't just like, okay, I'm just gonna film my own shit because even then, people don't realize how much it used to cost to edit a porn video if you was an independent. It wasn't something just doing it on your computer. You had to send that shit to Cali.
Computers. Yeah, you didn't get computers and stuff back
No.
then. But no, it's funny. Yeah, I mean, yeah, some of the shit. I mean, yeah, it was definitely a different time. But I think it was an awesome time though. As innocent as it all was back then, you know what I'm saying? It was still innocent. As much shit as we did, it was still an innocent time. It was a different time. You know what I'm saying? And I know bad shit happened back then too, but God, it just doesn't seem like it was that big of a deal back then. You know, like it wasn't like terrible shit.
Well,
so,
see, it didn't happen as often though, because even if it was work stoppage, even if it was work stoppage, it might have been what one every year at best.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Not four within like not one in every 6 months type situation.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? 'Cause every time I hear listen, it's a work stoppage. Something stopped. And I'm like, they swabbing now. I was like, wait a second, huh? What?
Yeah.
Which I understand. I get the point of it, but I remember time swab. Even dudes who were straight had to get their ass swabbed.
Right. Well, yeah, and that just goes back to the whole. No matter who you're shooting and what you're shooting, if you're shooting, you need to be testing. So it goes back to that little thing I was saying earlier. If you're going to bring yourself, like you said, if you're going to run, you got to run all the way. You know, you can't run part of the way.
Now, I'm going to ask you this because I always said this. Also, part of that is, I always say a test is only good as the last person you fuck. And to me, it's also not only being tested, but also being responsible in your personal sex life.
Yeah.
You know, period. Because y'all money is made off of being clean.
Right.
That's facts. If you come and your test is positive, you're losing money because there's time away from the industry that you have to take.
Exactly. I'm with you. I'm 100% with you on that. And I really try very hard to if I do shoot, like, you know, say, don't be dicking around now. That's why I get very nervous about when there's big events, you know, and they're like, you know, because all the companies, they try to monetize on the big events, and I'm like, I don't know. I think I want to wait after the event because you don't know who's fucking who and what, and all this shit, you know. So
because I need to tell you, God dang it, it's about that personal responsibility because it's like I even talked to ladies that were like, shit, their husband get tested, TTS. He ain't even in the industry, but he still got the it's serious. You know what I'm saying? Because even to the point of the time frame of what people want their test to be. I used to remember a time with 30 days you were good. Not no more. Not no more.
No.
She covered the 30-day test you want to. You would not shoot
shit. What you doing with that dick for 30 days, baby? Nope. Or that goes with vagina either. I don't care what, you know, whatever. You know, whatever it is. I don't, no.
Shit. Good night. That's why I said, yo. That's why it took me 10 years before I took the condom off.
I'll tell you, it's funny. I mean, if I'm not fucking my husband, I'm working. So, he's the only other, like, besides work. Yeah, I call him my favorite penis. So that's who I'm fucking. So.
Well, I am now retired, so I ain't got to worry about it. 'Cause I was like, man, it's just, to me, like I said, the good thing is that us as, I hate using the term, damn it, but fuck it, for the sake of the conversation, content creator era, it put the power back in our hands, you know, period. Because I remember a time when motherfuckers used to laugh at your ass if you had a clip for sale.
Yeah. Well, I don't, I'm laughing my ass all the way to the bank. Laugh all you want to. Well, I mean, because, and I'm glad that, like I said, I love working with the companies. I really do. It's nice to pop into a scene every now and then. Ooh, ooh, there you are. Give you a little boost or something. But yeah, I'm also okay with filming my stuff too. So so it's a good thing. I mean, really, the porn side of it now, with it being individualized so much, you do have the option and the ability. Now, whether you execute it or not, that's on the person or the individual. But you have the opportunity to make money. Like, you do have that opportunity to make your own money. You just have to be able to work.
Yes, it's a lot of work.
There's that silly word again, work. Imagine that. So yeah.
Definitely. Now, I got to ask you this because of your lineage, and we just had the first in 3 years AVN. Did you go to AVN this year?
I did go to AVN. I did. I was there, and it was, it was different. It was a different AVN.
I heard.
I was nominated again this year.
Congratulations.
Still haven't won it. I don't know who I'm supposed to be fucking to get it, but damn it, I'm trying. My husband's gonna roll his eyes when I say this, but I tell people all the time I'm like the damn Susan Lucci at AVN. And for all you young folks, that's a lady who was on All My Children. She was nominated for like 30 years and never won an award. Just finally won it. Anyway, so but no, it was really good seeing everybody again. I couldn't have my tits out.
Yeah, I heard.
I don't think I've ever wore that many clothes before in my life.
No,
I'm saying I was pulling my inner Miami Vice on the first day. I had my little jacket on with my bra and like one little button, but you couldn't see anything. I was trying to be good. But it was a different vibe. I mean, I didn't even do the red carpet this year. Because honestly, I just wasn't feeling it. It was just such a different vibe. I've heard different reports. I heard that they have a 5-year contract there. And then I also heard that the host was not going to honor that they were not going to have us back. So I don't know what's going to actually happen. I will say about Resort World, they did have plenty of things to eat, unlike past when it was Hard Rock, when we had Hard Rock. So they had plenty of places for everybody to accommodate all of us to eat. But a lot of the after parties were like out in the parking lot because there wasn't space, I guess. Anyway, it was a different vibe. It definitely was different. I do hope it doesn't stay that way because I think a lot of people were disappointed with that. Yeah. Not just me, but I think fans were disappointed. They were really particular.
Because AVN is worldwide. So you had people coming from all different countries coming wanting to see the porn stars in their environment be porn stars. They want to see tits and ass. Period.
It's funny because, it was such a different vibe because it's like, I felt like it was like very censored. I'm thinking, it's a goddamn porn convention. Where's the vagina?
It's like, how is it that Exotica is going to be more free than AVN?
Yeah, what the fuck? My husband's like, well, gee, next year we're going to have a playground for the kids. But no, it was just like, I mean, it was very different. And I think fans were kind of disappointed with that. Because, like, even with me, like, when I go up to another performer, there's a chick that I know, and, like, we're, like, grabbing each other's titties. Hey, girl, what you doing? You couldn't do that. Like, that's a big no-no. Like, they would have, like, got onto you. And,
God, you had to give a good handshake.
Really, like, they were, like, on that shit. And, like, they
I heard they threw some people out for flashing.
They did throw some people out. There were some people got fined, and I think the fine was, like, I've heard 1,000, I heard 1,500. I mean, it was like there was some shit. Like, so I want to make sure.
Vegas, yo, because one, I already heard that the Strip, they're trying to make it family friendly now.
Right, which I think is a bunch of bullshit. Anyway, so I mean.
Yeah, I want to take the kids to Vegas with me. Me, the wife, and the kids. Yeah.
None of that makes sense to me because I'm just thinking to myself, like, it's the old saying is what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, which is a very old saying, and they don't like that saying no more because they want it family friendly. But I'm thinking that's all anybody thinks about. When you talk about going to Vegas, yeah, it's gonna be. They're not talking about. Well, yeah, we could take the kids over to the water. No, that's not what the fuck they're talking about. That's what Disney World.
They talking about gambling and doing some wild shit that they ain't got to worry about nobody finding out.
It's about gambling and drinking and whores. That's what it's all about.
Basically.
Pretty much, in a nutshell. So.
Yes. Yeah. It's
yeah,
called Sin City.
Yeah. It was definitely an experience. It wasn't bad. It's just not.
I heard a lot of females said they had to switch their outfit, wardrobe.
It's funny though. But it goes back to what you're supposed to. It goes back to reading terms of service. Because it was very, very much in the terms of services. Like when we signed up and all that stuff, and when we got our information about our badges, and it went through the whole gamut. Like you can't do this. It was there. It was in the fucking paperwork. So a lot of people that came to the show were like, well, I don't even have anything. It was in the goddamn email. Like it's in the email. You have to read.
People don't read. They barely check their email, let alone their DMs on Twitter.
I don't check my DMs on Twitter too hot because, well, I take that back. On Twitter, yes. If I'm following you, that's the only way you can message me. And I will skim through them. Are they my priority? No. If I'm expecting a message, like I knew I was expecting one from you, so I kind of, I peeped that one out. But my Instagram, I hardly ever do that. And I tell people all the time, I do not check my DMs here because my time is money. My money is time. If you want to message me, then you get on one of my platforms where you're paying for my time. Because, and I don't mean that literally, do not mean that to be a bitch, but, if I spent, a minute on this message, a minute on this message, a minute, 60 minutes isn't going by. That's an hour, and I have like 3 different email accounts I have to check every day. So it's like, I got 3 emails I have to check. I have like over 20 platforms. So this is stuff I have to check every day. So it takes a lot of coffee in the morning.
This flex has been brought to you by Miss Kaboom. The ultimate boss lady. I thought I had a lot of shit to check. She got me beat. Hands down.
That's not even getting into Snapchat and my family. They don't even get into all that stuff. That's like a whole nother bit of platforms and stuff. But yeah, people, and that's why a lot of people don't understand. Like, like I try to say, a lot of this stuff is business. Let's talk about business. I'm about business. Let's talk about business. So, but yeah, it's.
And so the people know, because I know they wanted me to ask, how big is the boobies?
Now they're like a 38-40 GH. I used to be a 42H, but I lost about 60 pounds. So and I'm diabetic now. So I'm just, overall trying to be healthier, I guess. When you get old. Yeah. So there's that. So yeah, so I lost about 60 pounds, and then I lost some of the width around. So yeah, so I'm like about 38-40, depending on the day.
It looked good though. Start playing though. It looked good though. When you stood up, I was like, oh shit. Woo! See,
there's still more than a mouthful.
Oh my, and that's a beautiful thing. It's never wrong. Okay. So look, I done held you up on here, and we still ain't hit a lot of stuff. So
oh shit, okay.
I'm about to bring you back, and because of that, I got to ask this question. Can I call you a smoke buddy?
If you want to. See, I don't do it too much anymore.
Oh no, smoke buddy is my co-host when I bring them back to the show.
Oh well, yes. I'm sorry. Yes, go ahead.
She say no more. So people, you heard it first that Miss Kaboom will be back on the Smokers Lounge, and we're gonna try to get her on the Premium Smoke Room. We're talking about 6 premium podcasts for you to enjoy for $4.99 a month. It gets more unpredictable. It gets more wilder. They might even show a little something. We don't know, but you ain't gonna find out unless you subscribe for $4.99 a month to the Premium Smoke Room, where the best smoke is always premium. So with that being said, Miss Kimmie Kaboom, can you please tell everybody where they can spend money on you?
You know what? I try to keep it real simple. So I bought this domain. It's called everythingkimmie.com. That's everything, KIMMIE.com. And it takes you to all my platforms, the links.
There you go.
Try to keep it simplified.
Yeah, because you got a lot of links. I guarantee you that.
Hell a lot of links.
So with that being said, people, we came to another end of a wonderful Smokers Lounge. And you know how we end these things. Life is a learning experience. What's the point of the experience if you haven't learned anything? Smoke this over. Say goodbye to everybody, Miss Kaboom.
Goodbye, everyone. Thank you.